Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. Welcome to today's PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you this morning. It's pretty quiet out there. It's actually very quiet out there, with the exception of China this morning. Chinese stocks, internet stocks in particular, Alibaba leading the way. The headline there, if you haven't seen it by now, China is stepping up, or apparently stepping up, its regulation of its biggest Chinese companies, Alibaba specifically. So we'll talk about that. That's weighing on Chinese stocks this morning. Two guests on the docket. Marc Chaikin will be on at 8:15. Give us his thoughts for the last time this year. And then Jason Raznick will join us at 8:45 because we have no show tomorrow. As a reminder, it is a holiday shortened week, so the market is closed tomorrow, and we are closing early today. Markets close at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Here is our disclaimer. Please remember that all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Show us some love on YouTube or wherever you're watching. We appreciate that. Let's throw it to Joel now. Joel, how we doing this morning?
Had a weak close, but the buy the dippers were there immediately. Pre-market low 78.50, right next to that last print at 5 o'clock, 78. Pre-market high 94.50. We're smack dab in the middle. Crude down 46 cents at 47.66. Gold, this is called gold flat at 18.78. Silver down just a dime. Quiet days in the currents are in the metals, down a penny down a dime at 25.82. Bitcoin loses that 24,000 handle, 23,385. Two things, Triple D. One, tell us about that week close, and then two, when you were on the introduction, when you're saying you're going to buy the stock for a penny, were you referring to Alibaba?
I don't know if I'll buy Alibaba for a penny. Week close, you're talking about the little sell-off.
Yeah, what happened there?
Wow, we sold off of 10 handles, some sell imbalances. We get pushed around. The imbalances come out at 350, and obviously sometimes they're to the sell side. There was some sell imbalances, pushed us down a little bit of profit taking, before Christmas. I mean, markets go up and markets go down. They don't have to go straight up. But this Alibaba, with reference to I own shares of Alibaba, I'm actually scared, man. I'm actually scared on this. I had multiple people text me, "You're buying shares of Alibaba." I already own shares of Alibaba. I bought Alibaba last year. I was up substantially in it. That obviously has been cut significantly from the 70-point fall that we've seen happen from the highs. Actually, it's almost 80 points here now. Down 23 points here today, down 9%. Is this a market overreaction? I'm going to ask you guys first before I give my thoughts. Is this an overreaction?
I don't know if it's an overreaction because there's a lot we don't know here. There's many unanswered questions. So from that sense, no. But in hindsight, this could end up being a massive overreaction. So what's happening here is that several different Chinese agencies are coming together to, I guess, look into monopolistic practices, not just on Alibaba, also on Ant Financial. So really on Jack Ma's empire here. They're looking at whether Alibaba's merchant practices and how they incentivized certain merchants and blocked others on their platform. There was also the scuttled Ant Financial IPO from last month. This all comes after Jack Ma, ironically, said there was too much regulation in China back before that Ant Financial, and then that's what scuttled that thing. So. Looks like what the regime is saying is you want some regulation, we'll show you some regulation. But yeah, I don't know if it's an overreaction. Again, there's a lot we don't know here.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, this could be a nothing burger. It could also be something, but we don't know.
Under normal circumstances, I would say this is one of the best companies, if not one of the best public companies in China, and you're getting at a substantial discount to where it was trading 2 months ago. And we like buying good companies on dips. This is not a normal situation. Full disclosure, yes, I'm still long on my long-term account Alibaba, and I'm not sure what to do with it. Normally, I would never say sell the dip. You know, I'm not a sell the dip type of guy. I'm actually spooked here. This is a dumb enough market, though, that we'll probably get another rally. We'll probably get another rally. They forget about this. I mean, they're all scared. But how bad this gets today is another question, too. It's a completely different scenario because this isn't about Alibaba. This is about Jack Ma. In my opinion, this is about Jack Ma. And the comments that he gave back, I believe it was in October, criticizing the regulator. We know they pulled the Ant Financial, stepped in, and now they're attacking Alibaba. So you do not publicly criticize the regulator. And this is a message being sent clearly by the regulator here now to all other Chinese companies. Do not publicly criticize the regulator, or this is what's going to happen to you. Jack Ma was in the in. He was the poster child. He was loved by the CCP, and now he's on the out. He's on the outs, and what does that mean? They can do anything. It's a communist country. I mean, right now, Jack Ma needs to be kissing some major ass to try to get back on the ends because they could do anything to this company. I mean, they could shut it down. They can do anything. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I don't think they'll do that. But they can do anything. This isn't America. So you've criticized the regulator. They're sending a clear message here right now, and they're investigating it, but they can come up with anything in their investigations. This isn't like the U.S. regulator going and investing Amazon for, monopolistic, practices or whatever. Amazon would be down, but we'd be like, well, Amazon's going to get past this. I don't have the answer to the question because this is not America. So I think Alibaba, I've always said it's one of the best companies over there in China. I still believe that, but Jack Ma has pissed the wrong people off.
The only thing, all right, Janice, here's what I'll add, because you own Alibaba. I don't own the stock, but I own KWeb, which is the Chinese internet ETF, which owns all these guys. Think about all the crap that people who own Chinese stocks have had to endure in the last couple of years. The virus
10 years.
The virus started there. Okay. There has been a trade war for the last couple of years. There has been how many instances of fraud, right? Luckin Coffee was just the latest example, but there's been dozens others. And every time there's one, people think, oh, where else is there fraud? Think of how much crap that you've had to deal with and where are these stocks? KWeb's at an all-time high. Okay. So think about all that and still these stocks go up. So that's why I'm not selling my KWeb today. If I owned any of these individual stocks, I wouldn't sell them. But I'm also sitting on a lot of gains. So
I'll tell you where your analysis is wrong, though, is that these stocks haven't gone up. They've gone up in the last 6 months when everything has gone up.
Yeah.
Bring up the EEM. It's gone nowhere for 10 years.
That's fair.
There has been so much underperformance in China. Everybody's been talking about the potential catch-up trade here. Does this just put is this like the last straw? As you know, I'm over here in North America. I know when I'm investing in U.S., I know that this China's government's not going to come in and shut the company down unless it's doing something illegal. I mean, this turns me off. As an investor, this completely turns me off from investing in China at all. And, the message they're sending, I'm sure there's some Americans and Canadians and people outside of China that are looking at this and saying, I'm turned off of this too. So I have emerging markets funds. I have a direct investment in Alibaba because I felt like it's a great run company. I believe in Jack Ma. But all of a sudden, Jack Ma says something against the regulator, and now they're just on full attack on him. And I'm like, you got to walk a very fine line over there. He crossed the line, their line. You could cross that line in America. You can't cross that line over in China. And I look here and I think, I don't know if I want to invest in any of these companies. I mean, you got fraudulent stuff like you were saying with Luckin Coffee going on. Alibaba appears to run a really good company. And, they're coming out with Ant Financial. The Jack Ma is a genius, really. And, here he's getting punished because he said something. I mean, this makes me not want to invest in China. And I think you look at the underperformance for the last 10 years, and you think, okay, yeah, is this the time? This is going to be the catch-up trade. You know, the EEM has come back significantly. I mean, you're right. We're back at $50. And you know what? If you bought the EEM in the last 6 months, you're like, wow, this China investing is awesome. I bought at 35 and I'm at 50. Well, ask the person that bought in 2011 at $45 if it's awesome, because they're barely up and they've held it for 10 years. So I look at this and think, I don't know. I don't know about investing in China anymore. And you know, we can make lots of money, you know, everywhere else. Maybe I don't want the diversification of China. That's where that's my mindset after seeing this happen.
Yeah. It's
what do you think, Joel?
Well, full disclosure, I do not own any Baba or any Chinese stocks.
You don't own any ETFs, no emerging markets ETFs?
We do have Chinese checkers, and I have never.
And Joel's talking about throwing them in the garbage.
No, I have never beaten Lisa. Never. She beats me every single time.
She beats you in stock trading. She beats you in Chinese checkers.
It's so aggravating. And sometimes I even do her exact moves. And it's just like, just near the end, she just does like 6 skips. It's so aggravating. But I did beat Dana once. Anyways, first of all, I just want to point out this chart in Baba, and we talk about this kind of formation a lot.
What up?
Of course, you know, we didn't know what the news was coming, but when you have a stock, a strong stock, and it loses, you know, it loses momentum, it tries to get it back again, and then it loses again, and it's just sitting there at the bottom of it, just not getting away. So technically, if you were looking at this, you know, that's not a bullish chart there. And if you would have tried to be out at that low from November, you got slammed on that. We're making new lows in the pre-market session. So I'll just say 2 things. One, you know, mark down that low where we are right at 9:29 and 59 seconds, which you got the liquidity. But I think if you want to hold on here, you better be prepared for a move down to 215. And that is the low from July 31st, or the month of July. That was the July low. So if you want to sit here, I think you got at least, you know, I mean, I don't know for sure, but on the monthly charts, that would be the next stopping point. Now, I could drill down in the dailies on this, and you know, Ma did try to offer part of the company to China, so he tried to reconcile.
And maybe he's going to reconcile. Maybe he is. And that's a game changer then for Alibaba. But right now, Ma is on the outs. And I don't care what the hell the chart looks like. And, you know, this is where, you know, everybody will say, oh, you can just follow the technicals. And you're right. You can read the technicals and say something was weighing on this. It's probably people who knew this was coming. I mean, we know, I don't know if all the regulators are tight-lipped over there. And, you know, obviously it's different, you know, rules and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if a few people knew this was coming. And, you know, you wonder what's been weighing on Alibaba. As, you know, obviously you could keep saying, oh, it was the financial thing, but that was 2 months ago. Something was weighing on it, and now this happens. I mean, what do you think? Like, I mean, he's on the outs right now. They're going under investigation. Are they just going to say, oh, yeah, we didn't find anything? Spencer, are they going to say we didn't find anything? They're going to find stuff. They're going to want to find stuff. What is the repercussions of that going to be?
Well, can I tell you what my first thought was? It actually didn't go to Baba or any of these companies. My first thought was, hey, if they're going to step up regulation of their own companies, does that mean they will also open their borders a little bit to like U.S. tech companies? Because U.S. tech companies are blocked, with the exception of Apple, are pretty much blocked in China, right? YouTube is blocked. Facebook is blocked. Twitter is blocked. Netflix is not blocked, but you really can't use it that much. What if those companies couldn't get into China? That'd be a game changer. So that
what if they just let Amazon in?
And Amazon.
What if they really wanted to kick Baba? What if they really wanted to kick them while they're down? They let Amazon in. Well, Alibaba be in big trouble.
Amazon's in, but they're really small, right?
Yeah.
They're a non-factor. So yeah, what if those guys could get into China? That was my first thought, but we don't know if that'll happen. I'm just speculating on that. And I want to bring on Marc Chaikin here in a second, just to keep going.
Dennis, if you sold it, would you buy it back? Is one of those tricks? No,
I'm thinking about selling in the hole. I'm not buying the dip on this today, and I'm actually thinking about selling it, selling the dip, just because of the unknown factor here. Like this is, I just don't see a scenario.
Dennis, Dennis, you sound pretty convicted. It sounds like you're trying to talk yourself into holding on to it. You sound convicted that
the only reason I want to hold on, I've got a big gain in it. I'd rather hold it for a week and not pay the gain this year.
Yeah,
it's still a
sell
big
it
gain.
at 200. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, you know what, Joel, taxes are and you can say, I'll just ignore all the taxes, but this is one of my best trading years ever. One thing, I'm paying through the roof on tax.
How do you
through the roof?
How do you?
I am literally 5 days away, 3 trading days away from being able to sell. And there's a lot of people that are going to be in the same boat. So maybe they're going to pull a rug out from us early. I don't know if the rug's getting pulled here in the next 3-4 trading days. So I think, why not wait a few days? I don't know on the Alibaba situation. We're going to get Marc Chaikin. We're
Marc's
bringing you in. We'll
us.
keep you later, Marc. I know I'm going to your time. I'm just saying the unknowns here are incredible, because we don't know what, it's like to be on the outside. Jack Ma doesn't know what it's like to be on the outside here too of China. Obviously CCP's helped his company for a long time, and now they're intentionally trying to knock it down. So what does that mean? Marc, what does it mean when you get the CCP trying to bring you down and Jack Ma's on the outs? What does this mean? What do you think of Alibaba right now?
It means you're effed.
It means you're effed.
I was at
for lack of
Dennis, I was at Drexel Burnham between 1982 and 1987. When the government decided to go after Drexel Burnham, Mike Milken was toast. You can't fight City Hall. And you've already laid out the case, but there is opportunity here. People should be looking to get long Baidu on this dip. JD.com. These stocks are not going away. They're not, this isn't a wholesale, regulatory push on Chinese tech companies. This is one guy, as you say, who pissed people off. But Baidu, which I don't know how they're going to get into the electric vehicle business, but the stock spiked up from, 220 to whatever. It spiked up huge over the last week. It's pulling back now. I think that's an interesting opportunity if you're looking at China.
It's a great point you're making here, because one, Baba has been like the stock, where the poster child, it's got the love of China. They're going to want a replacement for that. If Jack Ma doesn't reconcile and obviously they continue to press Alibaba, they will help out other companies intentionally, because they don't want investors like me saying, I don't know if I ever want to invest in China again. So it's important for them to help obviously keep the other companies up, so that outside investors don't get turned off. So I think you're making a great point. Maybe you do look at some of these other companies, that who's going to be the next, favorite, the CCP.
Well, I can tell you that based on the chart that Joel was looking at, our long-term trend line is at 280. When it broke it barely rallied back toward 280. It's just a failed technical pattern. But getting that stock above 280 is going to be almost impossible in the current environment. So, if it rallied back to 260, you'd be lucky.
Yeah, well, that's just it. And you do have this buy the dip mentality, and it wouldn't surprise me. Even when we had the Ant Financial news, 3 days later, they tried to buy that back up, and that was the selling opportunity.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Maybe you don't sell on the whole today, maybe for that rip to sell. Because there will be investors coming in here. There's a lot of people that are on my Twitter feed right now saying, oh, Alibaba 230. And maybe they're going to be right. And maybe Jack Ma is going to get back into the favor of the Chinese regulator. But right now he's on the outs. And it's scary to invest in somebody that's on the outs with a communist regulator.
Yeah. There are some trades that you want other people to do. We always used to say when I was, in the pits, that's his trade. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one. But look at Baidu. I mean, Baidu is an extraordinary chart. I don't know how in the world they're going to get into the electric vehicle.
What pit were you in, Marc?
Pardon?
What pit?
The NYSE futures.
That's right. We've had this discussion before. My buddy Mad, M-A-D,
Yeah.
Mike Simon. I'm just looking
at Mike.
Yeah, rest in peace. I'll just say one thing on this Baidu chart here on the daily. I know you guys are looking at buying the dip on this one. But man, 3 lows in the same area, and we're breaching that. So let's see did we breach it yet? Those lows come in at 190, 188, if this is going to bounce, it's going to bounce. It's going to bounce quickly. If not, looks kind of heavy after it's had a major run from 150 to 200. But
yeah, I'm not saying you buy it this morning,
today.
But I'm saying you look at this. But let's look at one stock that I really love for 2021. started buying it at $30. Actually, my wife Sandy bought it. It's called Fubo.
Dun, dun, dun. Fubo.
Uh-oh, we've
Does
talked
she listen
Fubo
to
a few
pre-market
times.
prep? Are you guys closet pre-market prep
We
people?
are. We are. I was monitoring a Twitter feed from your friend in Chicago, Spencer, and he started buying it around $30 just a week ago. But here's a stock that got two big brokerage firm recommendations. I think there's something really instructive in yesterday's price action. Obviously, an extreme rally for a skinny alternative to Comcast or Charter Cable with a sports focus and a little bit of gambling in the background. But yesterday, BMO, Bank of Montreal, took the stock from outperform to market perform, and the stock lost about 18%. That happens in bull markets. It happens all the time. It happened to NVIDIA maybe 6 months ago when Morgan Stanley downgraded it and the stock dropped 5% in a day. These are buying opportunities if you like the fundamentals. And I like the fundamentals of Fubo. I think it's really attractive. It hit a low yesterday, 52.50. Some retracement of that move from 30 to 62 is appropriate.
You want to hear very interesting is Lord Needham and BMO both initiated this at a buy on the same day, which was November 2nd. The stock went up like 30 cents from like 1350 to 1380 on less volume than in the previous day's session. They both went out on a limb. And then obviously they had the news, and then Laura Martin was talking it up at after hours closing bell on what's today? Thursday, on Tuesday. And then BMO came out and sacked it. So they kind of split. But I mean, for this one, and this is a great technical setup, and I don't know how you all want to play it, but it opened lower. It matched Tuesday's low and bounced. And now where are you? You're sitting just above that at 53. So you can lean on that 52.50 if you want, but you guys know which one I'm thinking. If this thing takes out 52, tell me where support is if it takes out 52.50.
Well, I mean, we had a parabolic run. So I think Mark's just saying he isn't looking at this as he's going to get the exact bottom here. I think he's saying that the story is still good. The fundamentals are still good. You've got a significant pullback in it. I am still long, full disclosure, FUBO as well. I think it's going higher too, because I think this story, I think this story continues to remain hot. I mean, this is streaming sports. This is cord cutting. This is everything the market likes. Unless
might be gambling too. They've got they bought a gambling company and they expect within a year.
Sports betting.
One caveat, early January, a lockup expires. Now, some of those, this is according to Laura Martin the other day, some of those shares are in individual hands, but some of them are in institutional hands, meaning the other cable channels. Discovery owns a piece. Some other cable channels own shares in Fubo, and they tend not to sell right away because they don't really need the cash. But X that, I mean, this is just a name that is so this market. This is what this current market is all about, whether you think it's crazy or not. It is what it is.
Crazy stocks get crazier in this market. I mean, eventually it all ends ugly, but this Fubo isn't even like, it's not like this is an $80 billion company. And like you looked at this, and when we first were talking about this thing, I think what's the valuation, like 3.5 or 4 billion. I mean, it's still pretty small.
And they have serious revenue. They have 500,000 subscribers. Could they grow that to 1.5 million? Sure, they could. I mean, sports is us in this country.
I would be a subscriber to this. I mean, maybe I'm going to look at this, in my cable bill. I think I got a contract that comes up. Maybe I'm going to look at, potentially doing this and cutting the cord as well. I've said I stick with my cable. Main reason because I want to watch sports, and I know you can find them for free on the internet, but it's all chopped up. If they give me a good streaming feed of my hockey games, I'll cut the cord.
$60 a month here in the States versus roughly $120 for cable. So it's 50% cheaper, and you can stream it onto your iPad. Interesting play
for sure.
And small caps. So I think small caps are going to be strong in the new year. So I'm looking for small cap plays.
Wait, just to add to that Fubo thing, the lockup, I think expires on the 30th. So it's
December.
Yeah, it's
coming. The first of January is what Laura Martin said on TV, but it could be the 30th.
Well,
So
I'll just tell you one thing. If whoever, is stepping up here and buying it at 52 and 53, if you don't think there's an offering coming down the line here in the next couple weeks, I mean, come on.
By the
for
way,
sure.
There is an offering.
by the way,
coming.
Joel, Needham was the banker for the company.
They
She made a
all
great
do.
call.
All these small companies do this, and I've pointed this out with Spinner before. There's two types of offerings. One is because you're in a cash crunch and you need money, and that's like the U.S. Steel one back in April. The RCLs, they're needing money to get through the COVID times. The second type of offering is the good one, the one where the stock rallies up and now they need more financing because the company is growing. So it's an offering to grow the company as opposed to an offering
Correct.
just to stabilize the
I
company.
agree.
So this would be an offering to grow as well. And we've seen, instances, they do pull back on the offerings. It's a great price. Maybe you want to wait until you see some insider. Maybe you don't want to strike here right now today. Maybe you want to wait for it to cool. But I mean,
Good point.
It's timing is everything. I think I agree with you though, Mark. I think the story is still here. And I think when I look at Fubo a little while from now, I could see the story still being hot. I could see the stock a lot higher than this.
Yeah, by the way, Jumia did exactly what you just described. They filed an offering, raised a pot full of money. Stock sold off from 40 to 26, and then it went to 48. So
maybe you buy it when you get that offering, so everybody's making good points
point.
here.
Good
Mark's
point.
pointing out a good company. Joel's pointing out that maybe you get it off the offering price. I'm in it already. Will I buy more if it pulled back to that? Maybe. And I'm not opposed to buying more again. But right now, I'm probably just sitting on what I got.
Mark,
All right.
That was a surprise pick for Mark, though. So let's get some more Mark picks here.
Sandy picked it.
Sandy picks good stocks, too. We need to get Sandy and Lisa. We could do like Sandy versus Lisa, Joel's wife, Lisa. We could do Sandy versus Lisa on this show because those two girls, they can pick some stocks.
Yeah, fearless.
Fearless. That's
what else you like, Mark?
I like in the small cap space a company called Turtle Beach, HEAR, which makes high-end headsets for gamers, and made that my bullish stock of the week 2 weeks ago at 20. It's rallied quite nicely, I think, on a little bit of a pullback. Yeah. And then Marine Max, also bullish stock of the week 2 weeks ago. It's the largest boat retailer in America, and it also services boats.
What's the symbol on that one?
HZO.
That's a new one to me.
Yeah, these are all small cap names. I think small caps are where you're going to find opportunity. And also acting really well as we head into the new year. So those three, and I still love Alliance Data, ADS. Had a nice move yesterday. I came out.
Someone asked about that. Yep.
If we reopen the economy, their business really starts to look good. And with the cost cutting and the trimming of expenses that generated this positive earnings surprise in November, this company looks well situated. This is loyalty and rewards programs for retailers like Pottery Barn and Bed Bath & Beyond and Ulta Beauty. So this company, I think, is well positioned for reopening of the economy. The other two, I think, are just good, solid, fundamental plays.
I like this chart of this ADS. You had the big run up in November, the reopening rally, and then you've had the pullback as the reopening's getting a little spooked. And then, just like we were saying yesterday, I felt like the reopening trade might catch fire. It indeed did. Obviously, I was talking NCLH. I was saying it was 23 offer in the pre-market. I was like, you know what? If you wanted to strike, now is the time. NCLH rallied $1.50 yesterday. This ADS sets up in a similar way. I kind of like it right now. It's had the pullback, and now if you believe in the reopening, this might be a way to play it.
Yeah. And, the 52-week high is still up around 110. So there's plenty of upside. The market has sort of discounted what the reopening would do for this company, but it's got some strong support. I think Morgan Stanley's been a bull on the stock. So this is a stock I would really keep an eye on.
Mark,
and just wanted to wish you guys very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to Spencer. And the best of New Year's. It's been a wild year, and we'll come out strong in January.
Mark,
go ahead.
So I just want to ask you about FedEx here. You still long and strong?
I am. I'm a little concerned market-wise because I've said all along FedEx was my poster child for the bull market. You do have a seasonal pattern here where FedEx and UPS tend to sell down into the new year and then rally in January. But I'm not crazy about the chart, but it still has a bullish rating. And with the market making new highs and FedEx lagging, it caused me in my weekend market letter to say, as bullish as I am for 2021, take some money off the table in these high flying stocks if they rally between what was Sunday and year end. And FedEx was part of the reason I came to that conclusion, not solely the reason. So
this 270 area, look, oof, boy, this kind of reminds me of the Alibaba chart. But this, you got three lows in the same area: 68.51, 68.28, and 70.62. So I don't know if you don't mind a ride down to under 260 in this. I don't know. It looks a little bit of a tired chart. Mark, before we let you go, I'm just looking at the S&Ps here. We just crossed another milestone at 3,700. We're getting a bunch of highs up in this area. I mean, I know you don't short the market here, but do you think if you're looking at this just from a technical standpoint, how many days, or what kind of price action would you want to see for us to this is just another breakout? The actual high is 37.24. What do you need to see? I mean, I know I get picky with my numbers. We're only 30 points away from there. What's your trigger for, hey, man, 3,700, 3,750, 3,800, 4,000, or I mean that blip on the radar down on Monday. I mean that was just no one got unless you were trading overnight. What's your trigger here for another break up to the upside or perhaps breaking down?
I think time is the trigger, and fourth quarter earnings reports are going to be key in January. But I'm looking at this from a historical perspective. We're 200 days into a bull market. We've made enormous progress. Typically, you get another 10 to 15% from that level, and that goes back all the way to the 1940s. So in general, looking for higher prices, how you get from here to there is anyone's guess. We're potentially setting up at some point in 2021 for a 5 to 10% pullback, but I can't tell you what level that's going to come from. So I think it's just a breakout above 37.24. We should get strength into year end. President Trump is sort of dumping on our year end parade, if you will, because of his wishy-washy on the stimulus and the other bills. But typically in a market like this, when you're up 20% into Thanksgiving, 10 to 20%, you see a strong finish. Whether we get that or not, I don't know. I'd actually take some money off the table, see how January plays out, and then look for that breakout. You don't want to be shorting this market, in my view. So put premiums are too high. And I just don't see the trade from the short side.
All right, Marc Chaikin is the founder of Chaikin Analytics, which is a platform that I cannot recommend enough for stock research, for ETF research. It's got the Chaikin Money Flow, the Chaikin Power Gauge, whole lot of stuff in there. Marc, we appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you again in 2020. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and stay safe.
And to everybody who's listening.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Marc.
Okay, let's do some ticker time here because Jason Raznick would join us in about 10 or so minutes, and there really is not a lot going on this morning with the
just
well,
before
Alibaba is just exploding.
Is it still going down?
Oh yeah. I don't know what to say on it. I'm actually really distraught about this stock right now. You can tell. So I own it, and it's not even like it's hammering me. I'm really want to sell the dip. And this is not something I normally do, but I want to sell the dip, and I'm trying to stop myself. I'm like having head games here right now. Do I sell the dip? I've got myself totally into selling the dip here. And it's probably a mistake because usually the stocks will bounce back, but I'm like, this is just such a bad scenario here, in my opinion. I'm actually really spooked on this one.
And, for people that are, looking at this, I mean, Dennis is just talking about something that's in his long-term portfolio.
Yeah.
There's going to be a bounce in here. It's just not going to go straight
where?
down all day. I don't know where.
It's going straight down all pre-market.
I know. Yeah, but this could be one of those days where you see the pre-market low and you never see that during the regular session. I'm not saying that it is, but I'm just saying that there's a possibility. Just before we go to the ticker time, I just want to make it official here that the S&P, that Tesla is in the S&P 500 here, and I will show you. I officially added it today to my. I go with my top 11 components here, and this is where it comes in. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. I combined the two Googles, Facebook, and there she is, Tesla, above Berkshire Hathaway. Yep. It depends what you do with the Googles, but
it had a good day yesterday. And you can say, what are you talking about? It wasn't even up. It was hammered in the morning, and it bounced back, and I believe closed green. I mean, it was actually a very good. Did it close green? Maybe not quite. No, it did. It did close green. It was a very good day for Tesla. I actually think the bloody stock is going to rally again. And I know it's, a lot of people think that 695 high is in forever, and maybe it is. The stock is just so loved by the market. Fundamentals are meaningless. I mean, it's a poster child for story stock. And we talked about all this market likes is a story. I feel like it's gearing up to run again. I can't believe it, but I don't know why. I feel like it's going to break out over 650.
I still got. Go ahead, Spence.
No position.
No, this is pretty good from Raheem. If you're scared, just sell half. Wait, Joel, you're sharing the wrong screen.
On what?
Hey, if you're scared of your Baba, just sell half.
Oh, it's like 1% of my portfolio. It's not even like it. It's just pissing me off as more than anything, because I was like, you watch the stock cook off 80 points here now from the highs. Yeah. So, and I'm not even down in it. I bought this thing at 145 last year. So I'm still up substantially. And there's other people that, are probably up substantially in it too. But I just watched a stock that I had more than doubled my money. I got to 319. And I was like, I love Alibaba. I've always loved Alibaba. And everything changed. It all changed that day that he said those comments. And obviously I should have, been more, and, the market didn't realize it either, because it kept going up for a month after those original comments. But I mean, once they pull the ant financially, you're like, okay, well, maybe they're going to get it back. And now you realize, no, they've got it out for Jack Ma. And this is like the slap in the face. So that's where I'm not buying the dip today. I mean, there's a lot of people who are coming and buying the dip, and you know what? Maybe they make money again, but this is a scary dip to buy.
As far, I put that 650 as a clear line in the sand. I did that before the ad, and that's been a good swing level. But now you get more confluence here because you basically had an 80-point drop off that crazy close at 695. So you add 40 to the 14 and you come up with 655. So you're still below.
Even on the 50%
it's still
retracement.
below, but yeah.
It's resilient.
Yeah, for sure.
Yesterday in the morning, it looked like, okay, they actually are going to start hammering this thing, and it came back again. I mean, or maybe it was 2 days ago, and they came back.
Because of the Apple car.
Yeah, they hit it with the Apple, and I would have thought that's bad news too. But again, they shrug off all bad news. It's just loved so much. I mean, anyways, it's hard to be a bear on Tesla because there's no technical reason. You can say, okay, you could say a little head and shoulders pattern forming there, and I think you're right. I think, do you want 650? You've got the technicals nailed on this. This is why Joel is our technical analyst. 650 is your number. And as long as it's below 650, you can't buy. But you start seeing this thing go 652, 653, 655, and it starts breaking out through that 650 number. The thing could challenge the 695 again by the end of the year. It could. So we don't know yet. Let's see. It's still guilty until proven innocent here right now. I want to be bearish Tesla. It fundamentally makes no sense. I want to be, but the technicals are not allowing me to do it. The trading action is not allowing me to do it. And that's why your fundamental thesis has to be combined with the technicals, and you put it all together to get the big pictures, get your ducks in a row. And when everything is good, that's when you strike. When the pitch is up the middle, that's when I try to hit the ball. So here I would say above 650, I start thinking, man, this thing could make another run again. So the trading action is telling me that the stock still wants to go potentially higher. Do I buy it at 643 trying to pick up the extra 8? Maybe you wait until you see it above 652, 653, holding up there, closing up there. Okay, now it's ready to go. So I love your number, Joel.
Don't they have some delivery numbers coming out in January too?
Well,
Doesn't that another catalyst for it? That it moves off delivery numbers.
they-
I thought I read that or tweeted or someone tweeted that. I don't know.
Tesla has delivery numbers every month. So
Okay, so January. Okay.
let's do some stocks here. Let's look at First Solar. Solar's been on a tear. TAN has been ripping. First Solar is arguably
Right.
the space.
It came off a bit yesterday. So you had some of the high flyers, Solar, you had Fubo, you had a lot of, this Momo trade come off a little bit yesterday. I know it kept going in a few stocks, but Solar had a little bit of a rough day yesterday. It's been just running and running and running. And First Solar is probably not even the poster child because there's so many other stocks that are up way more than First Solar. So like the SunPower, which I'm long, that has just been on an incredible run. This little one, MAXN, I actually sold it yesterday finally. Maxion Solar was a spinoff from SunPower. It's been on an incredible run too. It's went from 17 to like 37. It's just getting stupid, up 100% in a month. So there's a lot of solar stocks that have just been running and running and running. ENPH, TAN, like the ETF. I mean, it's time to cool off a little bit, but is the trade over? I don't think so. I don't think it's over yet, but I think it's time to cool off a bit.
I'll give you one number for Solar here, and I believe that's 105.18. And the reason is that that was your all-time closing high. And how many times do you see this in a stock? It makes an all-time closing high. It did it by no, it's not all-time. I take that back. A multi-year high, because I know this thing was a lot higher. You make the high of the move on Tuesday, 106.04. You get that high close at 105.16. They ramp it up to 109.09, but they come down and they can't hold that 105.16. They close a little bit lower on the day. So that's been the high of the rebound. I think that's what people are going to be an eye on. That's my number for the day and the last couple of days. You want to close above that for a continuation of this fantastic move off 85.
Sheet Pyro. Can we go to Sheet Pyro? Because he just tipped us $10.
$10.
$10 for a
Oh
stick
my gosh,
ticker.
we could
You
have
tip
lunch
$10
today.
to get your stock talked about.
I was about to go there with Sunworks, SUNW. This is a.
He says we gave this one to him.
We've talked.
It's Solar.
No, I think he's just thanking us, and he wants our opinion on
Talked
Sunworks.
about it.
What are your thoughts, SUNW?
This is a low float play, just so you know. It's got only
How low float?
20 million shares, so be mindful of that.
Well, yeah, I know, because what happens is these things get hot and they just start running, and so be mindful. There's high risk in this. Actually, though, I'll just say the chart looks good. It actually looks sleepy and it looks pretty good. I have no position in this, but this looks like it could go. So I'm not saying it's gonna go. I'm just saying I'm looking at it right now. It looks like it kind of wants to go. So my thoughts are I have no position in it, but I think the chart looks pretty good. Know nothing about the company. I know nothing about Sunworks. Too small. I don't follow the company. But just pure technicals, it looks pretty good. Joel's not talking about it.
Moving on. What about the trade desk? Frederick Marullo says.
How do you know I wasn't talking about it in this?
Well, you didn't say anything, so I was like, I did the technicals for you. I was like, it looks pretty good. I know nothing about the company, nothing about anything about it.
Okay, next.
All right, the trade desk.
Oh gosh.
Frederick says he's long, and he wants an idea about.
Not a good looking candle yesterday, right?
This was the Momo, the Momo trade coming off a bit yesterday, and they hammered it. So it needs to cool off too. I mean, this is a Fubo. This is, the stocks have been running like the stock went from 600 to almost 1,000 in a month. I mean, it's time to cool off a bit. Is the story over? Probably not. But is it time for it to cool off? I think, you could see this thing in the mid 8s, but who knows? I mean, it's before it gets hot again. And you want to see something stable. I don't want to buy on the first red candle.
No. This one, we look at different time frames, different charts. I mean, someone or someone's wanted to sell this stock yesterday, and they just stepped down, and they were just like they had so much to sell, or other people got ahead of it, that basically any bid out there was getting whacked. And because you did not on your hourly chart, you just went straight down, lower high the next hour, lower high the next hour, right away into the close. I would say, just based on this hourly here, and I don't do this a lot, I'll just be keeping an eye kind of where it's trading right now, 932, because is that where it's trading? No, it's trading below that. If you're looking for a pop in this one, it's got to clear 932 because I don't know if they cleaned this guy or this gal or the group of people up, but that was just a step down seller yesterday. I'll sell this down to 900. I got 150,000 shares. My target was 900. Just get me out. And that's what you got. That's what you got. A step down seller there.
Jason Raznick will be joining us here in a moment. Before he does, I want to remind you all to hit that like button. It takes 3 seconds. It's easy. And that can be, that can be your Christmas present to us, is hit that like button. Jason, like I said, will be on in a moment.
Yeah, you want to talk about the time container story, right?
This is, everybody organized in their homes, and Kramer pitched this play, 2 days ago. This is the Kramer pump. You've seen the Kramer pump come in here, and you've got the Kramer love, but now it's breaking out. So I don't know. Does Kramer come on and give it more love again? Kramer has been in this, I'll pump things for a week or two, or for even longer than that. And, and obviously, as long as he's bullish a stock and he's talking about it on CNBC, the stock can continue higher. I think he's off this week, though. But this is moved because of Jim Kramer. At least the last 2 day move.
I like this one. Well, looking at it just technically here, who knows if 1384 is going to be the high of the move, but just technically, you had that 1204 close on Tuesday. It's hard with the end of the week here. And then 1217 high. You had the flat open, boom, you held that right away, 1210, and you sprinted to 1384. So instead of trying to say 1384 is the top or sell it, ahead of that level, just keep an eye on $12. It was defended pretty well yesterday, so I'll look at that as support.
All right. Jason,
that's a fake tip in there, right?
Is that $1,000 tip? It's not a real $1,000.
It's fake.
No.
Is that a real $1,000? Did somebody just tip us?
No, it's not.
NOK 1,000. Is that a real tip?
Well, let me check our.
We don't know what to do with that. Who just did that?
That's okay.
Jen just tipped us. It looks like $1,000. Is that right?
Can you verify that?
Yeah, I was saying, let me check our Google account after we're done here, but that looks like
this may be the last show we did. That could be the end of it. We get $1,000 tip. It's time to pack it in.
If it's Nokia she wants to talk about, then we better.
I'll talk about that for 2 weeks.
We'll talk about it for 2 hours. $1,000 tip.
Jason Raznick is also here.
We gotta do the stock before Jason's got. We just got $1,000.
But it's in red.
Oh, maybe it's not. It's
in red.
It's Norwegian kronas. I think somebody's messing with us.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not dollars. So what's a krona worth?
Oh man,
I don't know what a krona's worth. Maybe it's worth more.
Nothing.
What is?
Somebody said it's about $100. Well, that's pretty good too. I'll talk.
How do you convert it? We only want Bitcoin.
We want Bitcoin tips. You know what? Nokia's sitting here. Do the quick technicals, Nokia. It's
that was a good one. We got some tricky people in there.
It's consolidation station. It's a potential 5G play, but it's been in the gutter for a long time. I have trouble getting on the Nokia bandwagon here. I've tried to be on the Nokia bandwagon before and lost money. So I'm sorry, but I just don't love this stuff.
Wait, I just want to clarify. They didn't want to talk Nokia. It comes out to $116.
Oh, they were just giving us a tip. Norwegian kroner, right? NOK, it's what it's getting paid in. Gotcha. I talk Nokia anyways.
Yeah.
NOK, Nokia. That's why we're here.
We need Raz to bring us in here. We need Raz.
We were all excited. We thought we got $1,000. We got $116.
Jason, good morning.
You want me to bring you in? I don't think so, Joel. I'm the opposite of the bring in. But were you guys just talking about the Container Store?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought that like during the COVID play for organizing the home, and there's a show on Netflix that does a whole thing with Container Store. So I bought it in size way back when, but sadly, to my dismay, I sold most of that size. I kept 15% of the position. So
isn't it funny how you keep that little bit? And that's what you end up making the most money on. I can tell you that Dennis is with his Fubo.
Oh yeah.
And when you're doing it, it's like, and you still do it. I mean, that's just investing for you.
Yep. Investing 101. Investing 101.
I want to mention Tupperware too, because there's someone in
Yep.
the afternoon chat that's been on Tupperware since like $9. So if you're looking for
Holy.
a home, good.
What's it at now?
35. Wow.
Yeah, look at that monthly resistance though, folks. $39 if it gets there. That's a huge level. All right, sorry, Jason. Go ahead.
No, it's
What do you
okay.
got for us?
But I do. That guy who gave $116, insane. We love you back. You guys are the best, and we'll get to why you guys are the best shortly. But I gave a stock last week, and I told you guys I added an extra zero. So I meant to buy $1,700 worth, and it was at $17 when I bought it. I just went to buy $1,700 just to put in my watch list, basically. And I added an extra zero. So I told you I was like praying the market didn't open down that day. So I added an extra zero so you can figure out the numbers. And I just bought it just to put on my watch list because some guy is telling me that it's going to 40 or 50, and I don't know. Some guy on the internet who's actually good. His name is Jack something. People will correct me. He was on our show. And anyway, so I bought it at $17.13. I told you guys on Friday, and it was like flat when I bought it.
What
It's
stock?
up 36% since that day.
What stock is this?
CLSK.
Okay.
Clear
Holy.
something. Clear.
Clean Spark.
Clean Spark.
Clean Spark. I don't even know the dang name.
That's been moving.
That's investing.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. So yeah,
It is in this market.
you're right, Dennis. I bought it last week, Friday. It's up 36.56%.
Wow.
I mean, this is like just like a huge. I haven't had wins like this. I mean, that's like reminds me of Express Spa. And I had.
What are you doing with it, Raz? There's a potential double top there at 26. What are you doing?
I told you I bought I told you I bought more than I wanted. So I sold 400 shares and I've kept 800.
Good.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm not as of now, I'm not going to look at it until after the new year. I'm doing a lot of that stuff where I'm not looking at stuff until after the new year, unless I have losses. So I have a little bit of loss.
So you got one or two stocks to look at?
What do you mean?
You're looking at stocks with losses. So there's like one or two stocks.
Yeah. I mean,
it's been a hell of a year.
Well, I have some GAN call options for 35 strikes that are down 95%. So I may sell that one today. That's one I may sell, which I will.
That
sell.
might be a cabinet bid. What is the?
But let's talk GAN for a second because I see you guys all talk about it. So GAN started moving this week.
Yeah.
GAN again is a thing behind the thing play, and it's been stuck at 15.16. We're now at a 19.26. I'm up technically 9.33% on it. So 9.33%. So GAN is in the green except for my call option. But GAN, I'm still a believer in GAN, guys. I am. I mean, as online gambling, goes everywhere, people are going to use GAN. It's like the online brokerage market made Benzinga grow in a big way because we can sell our data and content to more providers. GAN is the same business. It's the same business. There's going to be more customers out there for them. So even if they're just there on the field, as long as they're there in the game, they're going to get more customers. It's not that hard of a pick for me. It's like my Upwork play. I don't know. So I own it. Yes, Pablo. Why do you say am I still on? You're a regular, Pablo. I'm going to be in RKT for a while. Okay. The one that people, I don't know if you guys are still trading. Will you put this one up on the board, Joel?
Sure.
MMEDF. It's a small cap, but you guys keep asking me about it. I don't really trade small caps like this, guys. So I don't really have like a opinion on MindMed. It's one of those psychedelic cannabis plays, Joel. I don't like trade these ones. But if you believe psychedelics will grow in the future, then it could go. But like I own such a small portion of it. Like I own less than I just own such a small thing. It doesn't matter. These are to me sentiment stocks. Dennis likes to talk about that some stocks don't trade on valuation. And I agree. Like, and this one would be just sentiment. If people think psychedelics, you just put it on your watch list. But 4 months ago, the stock was at 50 cents and now it's at that price. So I get scared at that kind of stuff, to be honest. So I don't really, but into the new year, Joel, some of the stocks that I do still like are IMMR. God, it's so crazy.
Immersion.
Yeah. But it's so crazy, Joel, Dennis, how some stocks people just don't stop about. So MMEDF, they don't stop about. NNDM, they don't stop about. But we'll go to that. Okay. IMMR. This is the one that Chris Kaji gave me. Gaming is exploding, Dennis. Exploding. No less than 3 text messages to me asking me where I get a Nintendo Xbox, the new one. Where do I get the PlayStation or whatever it's called? Asking me, like, they think I have some secret source, you know? So I just write back, you should check out, I wrote back to 2 people. That was like my wife's friend, so I was being a little sarcastic. I wrote back, check out Amazon.com, Toys R Us, and Walmart. Those are 3 places where you can usually buy it. And they're like, they're all sold out. They're all sold out. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was kidding. I did say StockX, Spencer. I knew you were about to say that. So I did say StockX.
But that's not a bad idea.
What were you going to? Okay.
So what's this IMMR story then?
Oh,
Immersion.
so yeah. Thanks, Dennis. See?
I'll bring it back.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you asked me to bring it back. All right. IMMR is the remote controls, Dennis. It's the haptic technology. So when you're using the remote controls, the vibration, gestures you can do on the remote control, IMMR owns the patent and sells it to these other players. Okay. So if gaming grows, IMMR grows. So this is not a pick where I'm as strong as a believer as I say was on Upwork, because I don't have the royalty rate. I don't know what they get per console sold. Chris Kodju is going to get that for me, but I own it, Dennis, and I own low to mid-size position, but I'm not looking to sell it. I'm up 8%. It's at $8, $8.84. I think, you know, it could be at 12, 13, sure. So that is the IMR play. I like to buy derivatives of the big trend. This is one of them, Dennis, is what I think.
The thing behind the thing.
The thing behind the thing, and this is one of them. And sometimes it's hard to find them. I mean, Activision sells gaming software. You know, what is Activision doing these days? Do you own that, Dennis? ATVI?
I did. I sold and I shouldn't. I had a nice run in it because Michael Pachter was on our show like a year and a half ago, and it was trading at 50, and he said it's a double. And I was like, that Michael Pachter is smarter than me in gaming. So I just bought it just because he thought it was a double. I bought it at 50. I didn't wait for the double, though. I sold it at 81 about a month and a half ago, and I wish I wouldn't have because it's now $90. So
wow, Dennis,
you got to hold. You got to hold.
Dennis, I had no idea it was at $90. So I owned Activision way back when it was like $24, $18, $26. I never kept it. I never bought it. But I remember that show Michael Pachter came on, and Joel was like enamored with it. He was at talking about Activision. Joel. That was like honestly around, you say a year and a half ago, I think it was like a year and like maybe 2 months, a month or whatever. It was around, maybe it was a year. It was around the end of the year. And Michael Pachter was talking about Activision. He was, and you loved it. He's good.
Yep.
Right? Remember that? You guys loved it. I bought it then. So I did buy it again, but I didn't keep it. That one hurts me because I interviewed Bobby Kotick a long time ago. All right. In the chat.
Can you get him on the show?
Probably. He's a Michigan guy, Joe.
I know. I actually, if you reach out to him, I got a kind of a connection to him. So let me know.
Okay.
Before we leave Michael Pachter, before we leave the conversation, Michael Pachter was on our show 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
And he said, I love Zynga with a capital L. And I'm like, you know what? I went out and I bought Zynga that day because I'm like, if Michael Pachter likes it, he doesn't lead me astray too often. Right. There's a story of the gaming stocks. He said, I love this stock with a capital L. He thought it'd go to $15 or $16. I was like, that's good enough for me. I don't know anything really on the fundamentals of Zynga other than they're an online gaming, mobile gaming. But I was like, Michael Pachter is the industry expert here. He says he loves it with a capital L. I'll buy it. So I bought it 2 days ago, Zynga, just because of Michael Pachter.
I think I'm going to put an order in for that one right now, too.
I mean, ZNGA. And you had this one before. We've talked about Zynga. I've been in and out of it a couple times. But I wasn't in it now, and I got back into it. So yeah, I'm paying up a bit because it's run. Like we're paying up a little bit right now, but I'm trying to stick in the long-term portfolio, look at it in 6 months, and hopefully Zynga's higher.
What level is your mom on in Candy Crush?
Oh, she's right at the top with Michael Pachter. She waits for Wednesday when there's new levels that come out on Wednesday, and she plays it all night until she beats those levels, and then she's done. She always beats. There's like 10 new levels that come out every Wednesday. She waits for it. They come out. She'll play it like right into the night to obviously get there, and then So I don't know. My mom's a gamer.
Okay, I know it's 9 o'clock. Can we do like a fire round with me? Because I have a few picks.
Let's do it.
And they're going, okay, we're going to go quick on these ones. All right. They're going crazy in the chat. We have to talk about it. NNDM, Nancy, David, Mary. That's Kathy Wood. No, Kathy Wood has still not come on with me. It's a sad story. If you want to tweet to her and say what happened to Raznick and your show, feel free to do that. Okay, NNDM. People love it, Dennis, because Kathy Wood is long it. It's I can't even describe it right now. It's too early to go fast. I own such a small amount. I don't just buy stocks exactly what Kathy Wood buys. I think people are looking for the next Tesla from Kathy Wood. I mean, this stock could do well. She owns it. I bought a little bit of it, and that's my whole story on that.
Nancy, David, Mary.
Yeah, you got it up. You did it right. You're the man.
Okay.
You're the man. Okay.
Folks, if for you guys that just joined us, we're on the line with Jason Raznick. He's the founder and CEO of Benzinga, joining us here on Thursday because he's just making me, Dennis, and Spencer work tomorrow. He's not working tomorrow.
Yep. That's always the mean old boss I am. All right. So into the new year, you don't have to put up all these other things. I'm going to still hold on to Curleaf, CURLF. I have a little bit of Dash, DoorDash. I may sell it before the end of the year. I think I don't know. It was a bad buy probably. DraftKings I'm hanging on to. The ESTC Elastic, that's up 13%. I'm definitely hanging on to Elastic. I love Elastic ESTC. If you don't own it, I think it's a good one to own. I own a weird one, FGFPP. It's a dividend play.
Is that the one that's a huge dividend?
Yeah, it's an 8% dividend. And I like some dividend plays because the market, like Dennis said it a couple days ago, guys. I think
FTP?
Nah, it's a lot more letters than that. F is in Frederick, G is in F. Sorry, Jesus. F is in Frederick, G is in go, F is in Frederick, P is in Peter, P is in Peter.
That's a lot of letters.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of letters.
Oh, it's a preferred stock.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're in it for the dividend.
They want levels from on QS. We'll get to that in a second, guys. Sorry. We can't get to that yet. So I own that for a dividend. It's fine. I own Five Below. I'm going to hang on to that. GAN, I for sure am holding. I'm just doing a roundup for the end of the year right now.
Yeah, sure.
GBTC. We are up 85%. Zinger Nation. Pre-market prep. We are up 85%.
Go, Bitcoin. We love Bitcoin.
Dennis, we should make up an end of the year song to Bitcoin. Like Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Bitcoin, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Go Bitcoin, go Bitcoin. That's what we should do, Dennis. Okay?
I love Bitcoin.
I love
Spencer,
it.
can you do that?
I think it's a story of 2021.
Spencer writes songs.
I think it's
Spencer's a songwriter.
Joel, you are 100% right. Spencer's innate quality that he shies away from is a songwriter. He wrote a song for the FinTech Awards, guys, that was so unbelievable. He still thinks it was that it wasn't, but it was. Guys, I hired 2 singers in the last minute. The guy singer, the rapper, didn't remember any of Spencer's words. It's ruined it. But the girls singer, this is what it was. You know the song, Joel, about like Jay-Z, New York. You can make it happen in New York.
Empire State of Mind.
Yes. So Spencer said at FinTech, the Benzinga FinTech Awards, you can make it.
Do this again, please stop.
Chris Camillo, if he doesn't do this,
fines are coming.
I can't live through this again.
We can't sing the songs.
Dennis, honestly, I like judge songs. I think Spencer wrote like the best song I've ever heard. And whenever I talk about it, he gets so upset about it. Honestly, he won't want to hear it because if we take the Bitcoin song to Mickey, You're So Fine, I guarantee you Spencer could write a song, have your names in the song, have Chris Camillo's name. It's like the whole thing of this year. And by next week, the song will be amazing. And we hire some guy from Upwork. Again, I said Upwork. You guys heard me? Yes. Okay. And they would sing the song and it would go viral. But Spencer will refuse to do it. But I don't know. Well, maybe.
Hey, Raz, before we wrap things up, we talked a lot about Baba here. And did you see
why?
that? Because China's cracking down on them. It's down
really?
$26 at 230. Dennis is all up in the air. I don't know if you own it, but a lot of regulation. What do you think about it?
My dad owns it. My dad owns too much of it. And China is cracking down on them. I don't love that. China, when they start cracking down, it usually continues on. I don't know if you guys have a guest for Tuesday. We have the guy, I forget his name, but he has the China fund. He's in China. He's from here. Joel, he's cousins.
We had him on a long time ago.
Yes. Maybe you should.
And he have the same last name as, is it a Boski?
I didn't want to say it because I thought Dennis was going to call me out, so I just didn't say the name. Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's his nephew.
It wasn't Ivan Boski.
No,
that's his grandfather.
Yeah. Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. He was in our office. Yes, it was. All right, so Okay, before we go, two things. I just want it from the bottom of my heart. Merry Christmas to all you guys. And I know everyone says this, but last week, you guys really I would do anything for you guys. You reached out to Webull or what have you, and it just showed how powerful the community is and how we all try to find stock ideas. We're not going to always have them right. Oh, by the way, one stock that I missed saying I bought a week and a half ago is RFL. It's the oncology play, Joel, that we talked about. RFL. I just want to say it
that one, yeah.
Because I want to say that one, Dennis, because that's one of my recent buys, like that CLSK and the RFL. I'm not selling RFL. I don't totally understand the play. I mean, I do. It's this oncology, and they're the one company that does a certain thing in the oncology market. But the reason I bought it is a really smart person gave me this pick. You know, he doesn't work at the company. He's just someone that I think is smart, and so
does his homework.
Yeah, does his homework, and so we don't always have time to put our own homework in. So we trust. Like Dennis will trust me if I have a pick that I really really believe in. It's that same kind of thing. So that's why.
Any comments on Tesla?
Any comments on Tesla? I own Tesla. I have my January calls that I have not sold, the 540 strikes. My lithium calls. I let them execute. I own the stock now.
Oh, nice.
So I own a lot more lithium, but
this stock has just been a monster, Jason.
Lithium or
LTHM?
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
You guys, we don't talk about that enough. Dennis, think about that story on lithium. I started buying $10 down to $4. My average cost, Dennis, was like $5.22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that stock. Now my average cost is $10.09 because I executed 450 shares for the call options. But it's just been a monster. And that's what the show does. The pre-market prep show, you guys, I mean, often will find fundamental plays that are monsters before. And then the question is, do you have the wherewithal to hang on to it? Like Dunkin' Donuts we bought Slack. Like, it's just a question of, another monster, Dennis? You definitely know this one. A monster. Ready? It's a Matt Kolb special, INSG.
Oh, I know. It's been on. I still own it. I still own INSG.
Me too.
I got back in. I sold it and I got back in at like $10 because I thought it was sleepy and getting ready to go again. It's a small 5G play. Yep. So, and Kramer's been pumping it too. I mean, it helps. A lot of this move has been Jim Cramer. I know, like last week, the CEO was back on Mad Money, and the stock had a huge pop from that. So, I mean, Jim Cramer gets behind something, and it can move. So it doesn't hurt that Jim Cramer likes the company.
And then someone wrote in the chat, zippity doo dah, LIT ETF is a coward's way of owning it. Yeah, I used to own LIT, but yeah, and so INSG, you bought it back at 10. I bought it back at 12. I love these. I own the LIT ETF, guys, like 2.5 years ago, but then I just I didn't want to hang on to it as much, as long, you know what else is doing well, Dennis? Josh Raznick special, Nike.
That stock's been a monster. Had a good earnings report. It's kind of filling the earnings gap here. It's been, unbelievable performance.
Now, one more stock that, Dennis, I don't think you love because valuation, but you said valuation doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It has to do with, Joel. I want to take this thing away from him for 3 weeks. A Peloton. PTON.
I said on the show this week, I don't know if you're listening, but it's like I could see the stock going to 200 just because the story is still intact. Everybody thinks, okay, and you're coming into January. I mean, okay, so there could be some profit taking, but there's also going to be people that are going to be like, okay, I feasted too much here. I want to get a Peloton and get into shape because it's cold outside. We're not going to the gyms right now. I mean, you could see a seasonal bump in Peloton again. I could see, and ignoring all fundamentals, just as a trade, I could see the stock and making a run for 200.
Here.
No position.
I'm going to do my biggest to smallest. My biggest position is Tesla, then Google, Apple, Amazon, PayPal, Sun Communities, TAST, T-A-S-T, Carroll Restaurant Group, GAN, then Peloton, then Lithium. Those are my top 10 biggest plays.
I own about 3/4 of those. Not the Peloton one. Not the Tesla one either.
Can we do a Zing ETF?
I honestly, Joel, if we did a Zing ETF, people would
cool.
print money. It's the vendors that we buy stuff from, Joel. So right now,
you've talked about that a lot.
Oh, SDC. Hey, I'm gonna try to bring the SDC CEO on. I'm gonna see, or not CEO, one of the co-founders. I'm gonna see him tomorrow. The SDC
Which one?
Co-founder. One of the co-founders.
Which
name?
one though?
Do you know them?
Is he one of the younger ones?
Yes.
Is it what's
I
his
don't
name?
want to say. I don't want to say the name yet because he doesn't know Marie. He doesn't know that I'm saying that he's coming on.
Is he around one of my kids' age?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in Florida right now. He's in Florida, and I'm gonna go.
He knows Dana.
Oh, he does.
The other
Okay,
one. Yep.
I'll
Went all the way back to West Maple. How's the weather in Florida?
It's been great so far, but not to complain. But I guess Friday and Saturday it's supposed to get to like 60 degrees, so kind of cold. But if you're
boo-hoo.
yeah. Spencer, the invitation's open. I got a cot. Come over. Merry Christmas. Will the Apple car have windows? Did you come up with that, Spencer? By the way.
Well, me and many other people. It was low hanging fruit. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, though.
You
That's
think
a really funny line.
the first person to notice or comment? Oh, actually, Joel did yesterday, but you're the first person to say anything actually on the show about them. So
I love that one. Dennis, do you get it?
I'm not sure he gets it. Maybe.
I think that one flew past me.
Did you get it now?
Say it again.
Will the
Will
Apple?
the Apple car have windows? Microsoft Windows. You know, it's a competitor.
All right, you had to spell it out for me. So
Like
that was a
Dennis
good one.
Hey, how was the
I'm
airport?
not getting it.
I'm
glad I had to spell it out for you because I'm the one who gets the jokes late. You got the joke
I
really
go
late.
way
I thought
late,
it was a
way
hilarious
late, way
one.
late.
Did you
Yeah.
drive down or did you fly?
I flew down. I got my arms.
How was the airport?
He's had COVID. He's already got the natural antibodies, Mr. Raz.
Oh, that's true.
All right.
Raz
so
is good to go. He got this thing back when nobody had it, so he's good to go now.
yeah. So the
At least he
airport,
thinks he's good to go. At least we hope he's good to go.
hey, I would love to move to Puerto Rico. If we can make that happen, guys, go to Puerto Rico. But yeah, the airport was fine. I mean, the plane wasn't that crowded. It wasn't. The airport was fine. I mean, Joel, have like what Dennis just said. Already having COVID changes the mentality a little bit. I mean, I'm still like I wear a mask. I go around, wear a mask, all that. But having COVID sort of changes it because you feel a little more like it's very rare that you could get it. So that's
Lisa got the first dose of the vaccine on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So she'll be good to go. So I need to get it. Then I'm getting the hell out of here.
We're all going Disney World when we all get the vaccination.
I was going to go
on a cruise.
I mean, that
I'm not going on
Should we do a Benzinga pre-market prep cruise, guys?
Yeah. Let's do it. We'll broadcast live from the cruise. We'll all trade on the cruise.
If you
I
guys,
think it's a good idea.
if you guys want to cruise, press 1. If you don't want to cruise, press 2.
I'm pressing 1 right now.
And then,
Yes. One.
Yep. And then one's like, yeah, press 1 if you want to cruise. And then subscribe to the channel. And then while you're at it, tell Robinhood they should add Benzinga News. That's really a good one. If you do that we could help because we want to get Dennis's cute little face on Robinhood's front page. That's my goal. Okay. Look at all the ones, guys. We should really do it.
We'll rent a cruise show. It's like, you know what? There's probably a deal on these right now too, Raz. It's like the movie theaters. You can rent the whole movie theater for $99. Maybe we could rent the whole boat for like 10% of the cost. And we'll just, have the whole boat. It'd be awesome.
I'm going to ask Nicole. We could get between all of the shows and all the people we have, we could probably fill it up with like 400 traders, 600 traders, do like
a 3-day or 4-day. Just trade all week.
Yeah. We can do it all week or we can do like a 4-day, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, one of those.
I'll give discounted swim lessons.
Joel's not going on the cruise.
Joel will.
I'll go. If Raz wants to go on a cruise, it has to have a big pool, though. I hate those little pools on cruises.
All kinds of pools. They might not have a
big
lap
pool
for you, Joel.
We'll let you
we want Billy, whoever said that, we want to see more Benzinga on Robinhood. So send him a message. It'll help for the cruise because Benzinga will chip in some dollars for the cruise. If we get on more Robinhood, that'll help for the cruise. Honestly, I'm serious for the cruise. When this COVID thing's over, I'm actually going to have Nicole start calling around for cruises. I'm serious. If not a cruise, the other thing that I would recommend, guys, is the JW Marriott Turnberry. They have great space. We can go. There's a good pool. There's a lot of good areas, tennis courts, all that stuff. So, wait, why is Spencer saying first trade? Let first trade know. I don't know what Spencer's talking about, but I'll go with it. Tell first trade they should use Benzinga News. I think that's what he's saying. But you guys are awesome. Merry Christmas. And I don't know on that SV or GV. They wanted you guys to do levels on one stock in the chat.
Which one?
I don't even know the symbol anymore. It was 2 letters. It's like it's something GVSV.
Was it GHIV? That was
No, that's a good guess though. By the way, GHIV, isn't that the UWM SPAC?
definitely right. Yes.
Yep. So that one's gonna go public in January. So are you buying any, Spencer?
No, I just know it's going public with United Wholesale Mortgage in January. I bought 2 SPACs and I bought the SPAC ETF, the SBC.
Was it QS?
What'd you buy?
It was QS. How do you know that, Joel?
They put it in the chat again.
QS has been a monster.
I keep asking.
You just got to look at these 2 lows here. If you know, unless you want to ride out, I just
Got to hold 100.
not
100
yet.
bucks.
It's got to hold here, right here. I mean, it's clear line in the
So
sand.
why do people love this stock so much? What's the fundamental story on it?
It's the one that Bill Gates is the backer of. It's the battery. It's the batteries for electric cars.
Yep. So
It's got a good story, and it's got Jim Cramer behind it too. Cramer's patted on there multiple times, is talking QuantumScape, and it's one of his favorite. He's now said it's overdone though, and it needs a pullback. But he said it the other day too. Cramer's behind this too, so Cramer's been really moving this back.
Oh, one more. Someone tweeted us about Amazon, and Dennis, you want to give your quick thoughts on it?
I still own it long term. Short term, it's been going nowhere. It's in the middle of a trading range. So I don't know where this thing's going short term. I just think long term, Amazon's going higher. That's why I stay with it.
What about? I own Amazon long term too. Okay, Raymond Trinkle, I saw your question. I'll tell you, I kind of like it.
Wait, what was the question? Tell the rest of us.
You wanted to know if I like GHIV.
GHIV.
Yeah, that's the Gore's holding. That's the one that's merging with.
Holy, there's bids in the pre-market too.
Yep.
1282, 75,000 shares is sitting there perched. I mean, it's.
What are you
It's.
talking about? What's 1282?
I'm looking at the book, so I got the book open where I'm
Okay.
seeing who's bidding, and there's somebody bidding for 75,000 shares of 1282. That's a huge bid.
Wait, on
Or-
GHIV or on Amazon?
GHIV.
It was at $11 yesterday.
It's
Oh.
1283 right now bid, 1282, 1280. Somebody is just, wanting to buy this thing. So I don't know what that means. I don't have any position in the thing, but it was impressive
What's the
move yesterday.
symbol?
I understand.
It's a SPAC, GHIV. Isn't it
I
not a
understand.
SPAC?
Yes,
Yes.
this is the one that's merging with the competitor to Rocket, UWM, the other large mortgage.
When did they announce that?
This has been a month ago.
3 months ago, I bought it at 2 months ago. I bought it at 1040.
The $10 SPAC play works again. We've been talking about this. You buy these SPACs before pre-merger, before at the 10. They seem to make money.
I'm kind of an expert in GHIV. So if you really want to know,
Kind of an expert.
Well,
Yeah.
in the company they're buying, he means not in.
Yeah.
what'd you say?
I mean, you're an expert in the company that they're buying, not.
Yeah. I'm not an expert in the SPAC. I'm an expert and I understand UWM's business really well. I obviously understand Rocket's business really well. And if Rocket does well, GHIV will do well. If GHIV does well, Rocket will do well. It's not one size.
Zero.
It's not that, but I also understand GHIV's business really well. The founder is from Michigan as well. But I don't know. I could say more on it. I own a little bit, but we'll wait for another show for that. How about that?
When the deal goes through next month, we can talk more about that. But Jason Raznick, of course, the founder and CEO of Benzinga. Jason, we appreciate you coming on. I know you're on vacation. Well, you're never on vacation, but you're.
I'm on vacation when I get to talk to you guys. Because if I wasn't doing this right now, I'd be laying at the pool, sitting there thinking, what are Dennis and Joel and Spencer talking about? So why do I have to wonder why you invited me on? I was so thankful for you to bring me on Thursday before you guys go away for the day. And Dennis, Merry Christmas. And to everyone, I hope Santa comes and visits and fills your stockings with a bunch of gold. No, a bunch of Bitcoin. And Spencer,
We like Bitcoin.
by next week, Spencer, you're making the song. Bitcoin, you're so fine, you blow my mind.
Hey,
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. We love Bitcoin. All right, Spencer, we love you. Thank you. And you guys are the best. And I'll look at those other stocks that you guys sent. ARKO, I don't know what the heck that one does, but I'll look it up.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rez. I feel like there's a pun to be made between stocks and stockings, but I don't know what that pun is. All right.
Oh, there is.
As a reminder, all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Thanks to Jason Raznick for joining us today on a Thursday. Reminder again, short week, short day. Markets close at 1 o'clock Eastern today. So Joel and I will be on at 12:40 for the final 20 minutes of the session. And of course, no show tomorrow on Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you in all of our chats. We love you. Thank you for all the likes, all the comments, all the super chats. Without you, the show would be just the three of us talking to ourselves, which is how it was for a couple of years.
Pretty much.
Yeah, everyone have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We'll, of course, be back with you Monday morning. Good luck in your trading. We'll see you at 12:40 Eastern time. And
Feliz Navidad.
there we go.